Welcome to Inside Out, mental health at work and in life, where we explore the ways in which our economic and social structures impact our well-being. Today, we're diving into a crucial and often avoided conversation: universal basic income, or UBI. Why is the government so reluctant to engage in discussions about it? And more importantly, what does that reluctance reveal about how we define work, purpose, and human value? A recent People Management article, citing the Keep Britain Working Review, highlights a worrying rise in economic inactivity. Sir Charlie Mayfield warns that failing to address this trend is not an option, pointing to a significant loss of opportunity, life chances, and fulfillment. But let's take a step back and challenge that assumption. Who decided that work is the defining factor in a meaningful life? For generations, we've been conditioned to believe that our worth is tied to our economic productivity, that a fulfilling life is one spent climbing career ladders, earning paychecks, and contributing to GDP. But what if we stopped measuring human value in those terms? What if we acknowledged that purpose is not found in a job title, but in what we create, what we value, and how we contribute to our communities and the world in ways that are meaningful to us? The reality is that not everyone can, or should, work full-time. Many people, whether due to health conditions, caregiving responsibilities, or simply their own personal aspirations, would thrive with more flexibility and financial security. Yet, government policies continue to operate under the outdated assumption that full-time employment is the only valid path, largely because traditional economic models equate workforce participation with national productivity and stability. This forces many into jobs that are misaligned with their abilities and needs, leading to stress, burnout, and an overall decline in well-being. This is where UBI becomes a necessary conversation. A guaranteed basic income could provide the financial stability for people to choose work that aligns with their passions and circumstances, rather than being trapped in survival mode. Imagine a society where people had the freedom to engage in community projects, creative endeavors, or part-time work without the fear of financial ruin. What if we measured success by well-being, contribution, and social value, rather than just economic output? So why isn't UBI being seriously considered? What is the real fear behind it? At some point, we must ask who benefits from keeping people financially insecure and exhausted. When people are struggling to survive, they are less likely to challenge the status quo, less likely to demand better conditions, and less likely to disrupt the systems that concentrate power and wealth in the hands of the few. While our current economic model has driven efficiency and growth, it often falls short when it comes to prioritizing human flourishing. It is designed for efficiency, profit, and control. But as we see rising economic inactivity, increasing rates of burnout, and growing disillusionment with traditional work structures, it's clear that something has to change. Instead of forcing people into jobs that don't work for them, we need to focus on creating meaningful, sustainable ways of living for all. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Inside Out, mental health at work and in life. If you found today's episode helpful, please share it with someone who might benefit from these insights. And as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's keep this conversation going. Drop us a message or connect with us on social media. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.